Imagine a world where you never have to read a single line of code again. You just type a prompt, the machine spits out 1,000 lines, and you ship it. Sounds like a dream, right? Or to me, it sounds like a total nightmare because I think this is the fastest way to drive your company off of a cliff. I've been hearing a lot of people talking about this write-only code. The idea that because AI can generate code so fast, we don't need to care about it, how it's built or if a human can understand it. But is this the ultimate efficiency hack, or is it the most reckless, short-sighted, and frankly AI-hyped thing I've heard in 25 years of software development? If you think code is just disposable now, you're going to be in for a very expensive wake-up call. Let's get into this write-only philosophy and how it's a total disaster for real-world engineering, and let's dive into it today. Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer, and here at Startup Hack, we love to build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. All right, look, I've seen a lot of trends come and go. I've been at this for a long time. Before like Y2K, okay? Like I was there the night of Y2K waiting for the systems to crash. Okay, so yeah, I know, I got some gray hair to show for it. But I've seen a lot of trends come and go, but this write-only code idea is probably the silliest, or dare I say dumbest thing I've ever seen actually in print. It's the peak of AI hype, and honestly, it's just completely out of touch with how software actually really works in the real world today. Let's break down exactly why this idea is so dangerous to be out in the premise. Now, the only premise of write-only code, actually, before I dig into this, the best compliment you can give me is to leave a comment down below. So as I say something that, sparks something, and if you can't tell, I'm like kind of sparked here. Like if I say something that's sparking you, leave me a code, tell me what you think, tell me if I'm wrong. But like, I love to have a great discussion. So leave me a comment here. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe. So, all right, the premise here of write-only code is that reading code is a legacy problem, right? The claim is that if AI can just rewrite the whole thing whenever you need to make a change, why would you even bother reading it? Now, it sounds like a clever blog post, but the problem is this is actually something somebody is trying to sell. And this is a nightmare. And now, before we dive into all of this, like, I just want to tell you how much I just, like, at first I saw this and I thought, wait, is this really a thing? Are they actually really starting to say this? And then lo and behold, here's a whole blog article from somebody who's a general partner of like a pretty large firm, investment firm. So this absolutely had me flabbergasted. 6 months ago, if I had asked you about how much production code would eventually be written by AI, I would have claimed a large percentage. LLMs are clearly a massive productivity boost for software developers, and the value of humans manually translating intent to lines of code is rapidly depreciating. Okay. First of all, he's already stating things as fact. I also believe that, and still do, that humans whose primary job is to build and operate enterprise software is not going anywhere, even as their day-to-day work is fundamentally redefined by this new abstraction. Okay, reading versus writing code is not just an abstraction. What I underestimated was how little that future would work involve reading code at all. And now I'm convinced that for better or for worse, we're barreling toward a future where a large and growing fraction of production code is never read by a human, not skimmed, not reviewed, not tweaked. I've taken to calling this write-only code now, and I've been spending a lot of time thinking what it means for this industry. Okay, now, first of all, this dude clearly has never written code, nor has he ever actually maintained code. That's one of the first things I can tell you. AI writes code is already true inside many enterprise. AI writes the code is already true inside. So first of all, that's not true. AI writing code and AI generating code and AI getting code that's committed into the repositories. Even at the highest end, even a firm like Google, who's killing it on the AI front, is still saying that they're nowhere near 25 to 30%, okay? So like already he's stating this as fact to try to grab some hype and some headlines. And it worked. I found this off of, Hacker News. You can see it up on my toolbar, right? I see this off of Hacker News. Like, I can see that he's like, so he's already getting picked up clicks, which is exactly what he's trying to do. That bottleneck is going away. We don't ever have to read code again. You just tell the AI and it writes it for you. And you need to make a little change. It'll just rewrite all of it again. Man, that sounds terrifying. Okay. Let's debunk some more of this here. Software development and delivery has a long history of eliminating one bottleneck, only to immediately confront the next. As we stand on this precipice of removing perhaps the biggest bottleneck ever, humans writing code, it is instructive to look at the last one we removed. Okay. It's easy to forget how just a few decades ago, the practical bottleneck was running new enterprise software in production, was not writing code at all. It was hardware. Okay. Procuring servers. So he's trying to liken this to like cloud servers, which, in case you haven't noticed this thing behind me, like cloud servers still aren't complete, like on-premise servers, still not totally dead. Okay. But what follows a new wave of practical things. And so this is the same person saying that we're only ever going to run servers in the cloud. So already, like, he's kind of debunked almost pretty much everything IBM still stands for today, right? This shift moved from bottleneck squarely to developer velocity. Once infrastructure could be provisioned on demand and incremental changes could reach production as fast as they're created, the limiting factor became how quickly a human developer could translate business. It's not true. See, the first thing he's already missed on this is the entire SDLC. Now, he mentions SDLC down here, so I can tell he's using the buzzword, so he must know what it means. But, you have to come up with accurate requirements. That's one of the ways software development is always still safe. Because as a software developer, have you ever gotten fully 100% accurate requirements? No. You have to figure some of that out. That's why we're called engineers, right? We're not just called code monkeys. We're not just called, coders, right? We're called software engineers because there's a lot more to being a software engineer than just writing code. Surprise. The whole software development lifecycle includes getting good requirements, interpreting those requirements into technical architectures, building the code. Okay, now we got a little part of this here. And then from there, you have to talk about deployments. You have to talk about testing. You have to tell about production, deployments. From there, you even have to test about regression. You have to tell about, interconnected systems. We have to talk about all of this. Oh, but never mind, because all of this is now just going to be prompts, because we're never going to have to read the actual code. I can't even go through the rest of the article because the audacity here, how the engineer job changed. In an AI pair program story, the human engineer is still primarily an author and reviewer. In the write-only code story, that same engineer becomes a system designer, a constant constraint writer, and trade-off manager. You spend more time shaping intent and shaping implementation. Now, look, I've just recently switched my whole teams over to Claude to use Claude Code. With it came tons of instructions, lots of checks, already seeing things in the first couple of days that are just starting to that make me honestly wonder if I made the right decision. But I know that we have to move forward. I know these are powerful tools that we have to learn how to use. Are we ever going to get to an environment where we're just writing code and blindly trusting it and shoving it into production? But it passed the test. Right. So let's go talk to the COBOL developers from 1960s that are still writing COBOL today and see how this concept is. Because I've heard this over and over again. Early in my career, I heard a lot of people, still on the trailing end of, but C++ is here, so therefore we'll never need to write assembly. Or, now we have cloud computing, so we'll never need to be able to, we don't ever have to worry about hardware. Or the myths go, my favorite one is, Web3 is here. Everything's going to be on the blockchain. It's going to reinvent the internet. It's going to absolutely change everything. Look, we've heard this before. But AI is advancing so fast. You're right. It's becoming a great tool. Is it ever going to become where you don't actually read the code? Let me finish this up because I'm going to go on to some people that actually know what they're talking about. Write-only coding is not a prediction about what we should want. Now, that's exactly what it actually is. This guy is a general partner in an investment firm. He would like nothing more than to not have to pay for expensive software developers. To him, expensive software developers are the thing he wants to rid himself of. He's saying it's a description of what happens when software production scales beyond human attention. Okay, this is AGI speak. This is saying that the code that would read and then make one change to it actually works. Have you actually gotten Claude Code or any tool you've ever done to take a project, take the whole, go try this, go try it out, just right now. Anybody who's willing to debunk this myth, it's pretty simple. Go open up your IDE, go to Claude, tell Claude Code, you only want to change one line. Now regenerate the entire project, but only change this one thing that you need to be changed. Guarantee you, Claude Code's going to refactor all kinds of stuff. Stuff that's already been tested, stuff that's already running in production, stuff that's already integrated into other things. We're so far from this. We're so far from this that I can't even. I like, as my kids would say, Dad, I can't even. Right? Okay. Let me go to this next one here. This is somebody who actually has some idea. Negative externalities of Gen AI within software teams. I don't have anything new to contribute to the big picture war of words about the ethics of generative AI or the environment. I'm not going to argue using LLM to generate code is either more or less productive than doing things the old way. I'm not qualified to decide that. I don't use LLM agents to write code, and I'm ignorant of the best practices. I'm not opposed to principle of using coding agents. Let's just jump to his conclusion. Building software on a team requires communication skill, such as technical skill. As much as technical skill. Much of this communication happens via English prose. Software engineers write technical prose, design specifications, documentation, and PR descriptions, like pull requests, right? Like that's one of the places you will never, like when I roll out Claude Code to my team, the very first thing I told them is I said, if I see any code that reaches production without having not one person who understands every line, but at least two people who understands every single line of code, then everybody who touched it will be in serious trouble. Like that's, and I sounded really authoritarian, but if you know my organization, like, but my point is I had to lay down the line very clearly. We are not anywhere near write-only code, right? If these documents are written poorly, it makes it harder for other engineers on teams to understand the system being described. If humans can't understand this, and if this guy's writing this article because communication is so important and so challenging that even humans are having a hard time understanding this, do you think we're going to be perfect at doing this for AI? I don't think so. In my experience, engineers using coding agents to implement features often use the agent to write PR descriptions too. These PR descriptions tend to be overly long and detailed. They might include a quick overview of changes, heading followed by a bullet point list with 7 or 8 entries. There might be da-da-da-da. By the time a feature lands in a PR, often the team has discussed the feature several times and maybe even met to evaluate different possible implementations. The code agent doesn't know this, so it can't write in the PR description, implements new features using implementation X like we all agreed, which would be meaningful, useful shorthand to the team. Maybe one day the coding agents could listen in on every team meeting, but for now, these contextual shorthands are out of reach. Okay. Also the reason why write-only code will never happen, right? The PR description generated by agents also lacks hierarchy. By that, I mean that agents throw a lot of information at you without distinguishing what's important. The description outlines the changes made in the PR, but what is the upshot for the team? So I tell my team all the time, when you're doing a PR comment, don't put what you wrote. That should be in the commit, right? If you're reviewing the commit, you can see what got changed. Instead, discuss why you made the change. See, that's the part. That's the important part that a human... Hey, I added the new downwrap, but I realized I couldn't populate the endpoint, so I had to do it. See, he's saying the why. See, and there is the why. This is what a human would understand. See, the AI agent's never going to understand the background of this. They won't. They won't understand the actual worldview around them. So I jumped down here to the bottom because this guy talks a lot about it. He means, I don't mean to disparage anyone using coding agents to produce code. I'm glad people are experimenting, and note on experimenting. And think it's likely that coding agents will allow teams to do things they couldn't have done before. But I do want to rebut the narrative that coding agents are fueling some kind of free lunch productivity bonanza. As far as I've seen, they make it easier to produce code, but harder to collaborate. Hopefully we can find a way to preserve the former while mitigating the latter. Okay. I agree with this author. I think he's right on all accounts. But let's go to the next article, which I think the headline says it all. AI makes the easy part easier and the hard part harder. A friend of mine recently attended an open forum panel about how engineering orgs can better support their engineers. The theme came up that were not surprising. Sacrificing quality makes it hard to feel proud of the work. No acknowledgement of current velocity. If we sprint to deliver, the expectation becomes to keep sprinting forever. It's actually why I hate Scrum too, because it feels like to me the whole concept of a sprint is always sprinting. So we set release dates, we follow Kanban, we follow true agile methodologies, not the junk called Scrum. AI did it for me. Developers used to Google things. They'd read Stack Overflow answer or an article or GitHub. You did research, verified against your own context, and came to your own conclusion. Nobody said Google did it for me. It was the top result, so it must be true. Now I'm starting to hear AI did it for me. That's either overhyping what happened, or it means the developer didn't come to their own conclusion. Both are bad. I couldn't agree more. If someone on my team ever did say Google wrote their code because they if someone on my team ever did say Google wrote their code because they copied a Stack Overflow answer, I'd be worried about the same thing I'm worried about now with AI. Did you actually understand what you pasted? What I said earlier. Vibe coding has a ceiling. Vibe coding is fun at first for prototype, low stake personal projects. It's useful. See, that's the whole part that the write only part's missing. It's like AI can generate new code, but without fail, refactoring old code in whole code swaths, impossible. Can it refactor a function? Occasionally, but even that, the benchmarks are way lower than the original code generation. See, the whole point is AI generates. It's a generative AI. It's going to generate code for you. So if you can say, hey, I need an app that does this, and I need it to do this, and I need the color to be green, and I want buttons over here and that kind of stuff, you can explain it. It can write it from greenfield. If it has to take all of the context of the past code, and not only that, all of the commit history so that it actually could know some of the history of that, is it really going to take that and then spit it out, right? On a personal project, I asked AI agent to add a test to a specific file. The file is 500 lines before the request and 100 lines after. I asked why it deleted all the other content. It said it didn't. Then it said the file didn't exist before. I showed it the Git history and it apologized. It said it should have checked whether the file existed first. Notice that it just apologizes and then it says, oh, I should have done that. And then it usually doesn't even fix it. AI assistance can cost more time than it saves. That sounds backwards, but it's what happens here. I spent longer arguing with the agent recovering the file than I would have spent writing the test myself. So the hard part gets harder. Most people miss this about AI-assisted development. Writing code is the easy part of the job. It always has been. The hard part is investigation, understanding context, validating assumptions, and knowing why a particular approach is the right one for the situation. When you hand the easy part to AI, you're not left with less work. You're only left with the hard work. And if you skip the investigation because AI already gave you the answer, you don't have the context to evaluate it gave you. Now, he goes on to talk about a lot of different things. It's actually a great article, but he says, no fire drill, no staying late. AI did the investigative grunt work. I provided the context and verified. The developer confirmed the solution. That's AI helping with the hard part. I agree. What I told my team when I rolled out Claude Code last week is I said, look, Claude can make you faster. Absolutely can. But if you only use the coding tools for Claude Code to make you faster, you are going to, one, become a really bad developer. Two, you won't understand the code you've just written. And that's why you really need to become a better developer, a 10x developer, by allowing Claude to help make you faster. Use it like an autocomplete. Say, hey, this is the function I need. This is the input parameters. These are the output parameters. I need it to do this. I need it to update this table, like, et cetera, right? Look at it. Let it generate the code because AI will type it faster than you. You do that. You review every line of it. If it were me, I would then actually step through every line in a few, debug scenarios and be like, yeah, that looks right. Then I would do the PR and see, now I've done the second part of it, which is learn from it. You need to make sure that you not only just lets it make you faster, you need to also make sure that it makes you stronger, that it makes you a better developer. If you do those two things, you will become a better developer. You will understand the code that AI is writing. It will be safer code, and you will become a better developer over time. Those are the advantages that we have with AI now. But if you let it become a crutch, then it will destroy you. You'll ship bugs to production. You'll turn into this guy who thinks that, going on a public forum and saying, "Hey, you shouldn't read your code, and we're going to go to where it's just write-only code." Terrible idea. Now, everybody out there is going to be flaming me and being like, "This is the future, man. You just hate AI." Look, guys, I just said I rolled out AI at my own personal cost to all of my software developers. I know that it can make them better software developers. I know it can help them to write code faster. I also know all of the dangers to it. And I know that if you use it as a crutch too long, your muscles will atrophy. I know that if you're not careful, it can totally destroy code bases. And then if you're really not careful, it can do a lot of other different things. So after years of being in the business, I can tell you the most valuable asset in any tech company isn't the code itself. It's the understanding of that code. The write-only code philosophy is a fundamental misunderstanding of what software engineering actually is. It treats engineering like a manufacturing process instead of a creative, problem-solving discipline. If you want to build something that lasts, something that can grow, and something that you can actually rely on, you have to prioritize readability and human understanding above all else. The moment that you need to change a write-only system, like he proposes, you realize you can't just tweak it. You have to ask the AI to regenerate the whole thing. But what if the new version breaks something the old version fix? What if something like that connector that's connecting to some system that's this totally archaic 20-year-old system, but you've got it wired in just right, breaks in that connector? You end up in a spiral of prompting and praying, hoping that AI gets it right this time without breaking something else. This is the opposite of agile development. It's a chaotic, unpredictable way to manage a product that leads to massive frustration for your product owners. This is dangerous rhetoric by people who are just trying to figure out a way to automate out software development. And frankly, if you can't tell, I'm a little passionate about that, because here at Starter Pack, we love to build custom software solutions for companies. We love to help them sit down, figure out the problems that are plaguing their business the most, that are causing the most slowdown, and helping them to put these pieces together and connect those systems to work correctly using software development practices, not weird things like write-only code. Now, I'd love to hear guys' thoughts. Make sure you comment down below. Here at Starter Pack, we love to build custom software solutions, and here's some great information about our services.
Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment, perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Starter Pack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out starterpack.com/Spencer.